Oh, we are so ready to dig in deep. I am so ready to dig in deep. Are you ready to dig in deep? Just say yes. Okay. How else? What else can you say with such delicious meals that we have here? And of course, meals that really ignite our synaptic nerves and really help us create a better world. And, it's just so much we could do with these meals. They just, of course, build our immunity. Yes. Okay, so we have with us the high priest Aaron, and of course the 14 gods, and we call on to the angels as well: Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Raphael. Oh, we need these, they keep the doors and everything, or the gates, guarded. And we also invite, as we say, the gods. So we have the God of creation, the God of calling, the God of causation, the God of formation, the God of planting, and the God of ending, the God of division. Oh, the God of division is so busy right now. And the God of makings, and the God of sayings, the God of soaring, and the God of settings, and the God of endings. I think I have said the God of planting, the God of blessings, and the God of breath. Oh, the God of breath is always reminding us to breathe, because breath is like, of course, that's what keeps us alive. And so I have done a video on this, and do watch that video and see. Oh, the God of breath has so much, so much, so much. The heart is in the breath, the earth is in the breath, and everything we hear, everything, all our senses in the God of breath. So the God of breath is really phenomenal, or very much alive. Okay. And of course the God of sayings, because the God of sayings is the God who said, let there be light. So this is the first God of words, the God of breath, to say, let there be light. The God of breath was in that statement, in that God of sayings. So okay, so I could hear Aaron keep saying, all right, too much of the long intro, just do it, just do it. So we had a presentation, or we've just done one on promised land. And land, of course, promised land is 13. And for many of those who have seen my videos on the number 13, which is also the number of death, it's the death card as well. But the death card, like in the tarot deck, so number 13, but we also know that number 13, as we do, the word 13 also equals 9. So we see that there is, it is very appropriate, or it sums up very well that number 13 should be death in that sense, because there is a dying and another, and a life, if you like. So when a child is birthed at 9 months, the child is no longer in the womb, so it gets cut off that life support that it had in the womb, and now it is now dependent on oxygen, the external, well, on the external, on the outs, on the external. So basically, out of the womb, it's out of the womb, and it's a new list of life for the child. And that's the thing with 13. So 13 is basically like whatever you put in 13. Of course, it is an incubator. It is the incubator. So it also equals land. It also equals soul. So there's another interesting thing. Okay, so I had this conversation. I could hear. So Aaron, okay, so Aaron, the high priest, is here to help me understand, or to articulate, and this even better. So okay, so I had this conversation with Aaron, and he's really been helpful into dissecting, if you like, the or deconstructing the numerical value of 13 and 20 as well, because 20 is 2, and 2 also comes into the the bucket column. So in fact, I asked Aaron as well. Well, what do you make of this bucket and or basket? And he says, well, you've already done it, and you can see, what it is. It's really, as you said, it's an incubator, and whatever happens there. And he says, so how was this? How did you really associate this message, for instance, with that you which was your experience with the children of Israel? So, and then it says, of course, well, the promised land is really about the same thing, because promised land, promise is nine, as in the numbers 1 to 9. So basically, it's like you have to go through the whole motion. So, yeah, so he's saying to me that really the sacrifice is really the same thing as the promised land. And I'm saying, wow. So it's like, dying, and like you mean like Christ died and he rose again, is the whole sacrifice thing. He died, done the whole 9 miles, because the promise is the whole nine. It's nine, it's promised. I don't know if he was really making much sense of the questions that I was asking him in that way, because I'm trying to really understand where, because I already feel that all the stories are the same, but I really want him to give me a little bit more clarity on how the promised land and the sacrifice was really the same, and what we are facing today, because all those things is really to help us to understand how to really maneuver ourselves in 2020. So okay, so he's saying, for instance, okay, look at the word sacrifice, which equals 10. So this is what he said to me, so it equals 10. I says yes. So I said, yes, sacrifice equals 10. We've done this before. And he says, well, Egypt also was 10. I said, okay, I understand that. Egypt, and Egypt equals 10. And he said 10. He's saying 10. Yeah. And sacrifice, okay, is also 10. Okay. And I said, yes, I can see that. So are you saying Egypt is was the sacrifice in this sense? You're saying, well, yeah, because they had to sacrifice. It represents that sacrifice, because they had to leave all they had known behind, and go into a new land. And the new land, of course, was Canaan, and Canaan equals 8, which is the a new template. I says, okay, I can see that. I can see that. So he's saying, but Egypt to, for instance, Egypt is 10 and Canaan is 8. So 10 plus 8 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. So he's saying, well, this is it. This is it. I'm saying, okay, so sacrifice is 10, but I can also see as well the word sacrifice is of 9 letters. So he's saying, well, voila, it's the same thing. 9 plus 1, 10. So I felt, okay, I can really say that, see that. So I said, so basically, are you saying that the template that the children of Israel going into the land of Canaan, and they had to set that new template, Canaan. So Canaan was that template. And he's saying, well, yes, it's 8. And of course, reminding me about Mother Eve ate, and Adam ate, and all these ate. And he said, so he says, remember, Christ and the disciples ate as well. I thought, oh, I hadn't even thought of that before. So basically, all the stories are the same, I said. He says, all the stories are the same, because life is a cycle. They have cycles, cycles on top of cycles. And I said, oh, I remember seeing that actually when I was writing my books, the Crimson Light, volume 1 and 2. And I said, in particular, with 2, I had a vision where I was seeing all the world is really cycles on top of cycles, and that's what we are. And I was seeing a lot of eights on top of eights. And so he's saying, well, yes, because in all these cycles, there was an 8. And I thought, oh, so that's why Abraham too has the numerical value of 8, and it says voila, so there was a lot of things happening there. So it's drawing my attention to this. So Egypt to Canaan, and we have the sacrifice to the cross. So the sacrifice also, of course, entails the cross. So this is why where he comes in, um, with his speciality, you could say. So okay, Aaron, I said. We have done a lot on number 20, and so you are really showing us how to maneuver ourselves in this 2020. And that he reminds me again, remember 20 also showed up with Christ when Christ said to Peter, upon this church I will build my rock. And the word rock, he says, ROCK. He reminds me that it is also 20. Adding this together is also 20. And I'm thinking, well, yes, I can really see all these correlations. And he's saying, but he's reminding us now that all these correlations that you are getting now, it's important for you to take note that you have the opportunity to start building your church, because the church, he says, is like the land. It's your body, it's your soul. And he reminds me of soul as well, SOUL. And he says soul is actually 1,633. And he says add this together, and I says okay, this is 12 and 113. Sorry. Oh, better. So he reminds me it's 13. So basically the soul really siphons quite a lot. Okay.